What's up, YouTube? I'm about to go live. Oh, shit. I forgot. I got to get my cell phone. Couldn't find my cell phone and I got sidetracked. I'll be right back. To the YouTube. To the YouTube. Where the fuck did I put that bitch? Oh, please tell me I didn't leave it somewhere. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Where's my cell phone? This ain't my dad. This is a cell phone. Very interesting. I may have to go out to the car. I may have to go out to the car. Well, fuck. Give me a second. Oh, that's embarrassing. I shall return. Make sure. I found it. We got it, y'all. We got the cell phone. All right. Well, hopefully the live goes better than that. Let me, oh shit. Actually need to get a drink real quick. This is what happens when you ain't got your shit together. Come on, Chris. Come on, Chris. I gotta get me a drink. I'm sure that that's a riveting live. Riveting. Absolutely riveting. Wow, geez. Wow, wow. Yeah. That's delicious. That's so delicious. All right. Now we can get started. Holy shit, y'all. That's crazy. All right, let me open up my TikToker. I'm going to get it ready. Turn this bitch down. Oscar Quentin. Don't know you. Okay. I'm going to get started on TikTok. Give me just a second. We'll be there soon enough. All right. Get all my ducks in a row. Here we go. What is up, everybody? It's your boy, the Liberal Loudmouth. We are back again. Let me do 120. 120. Okay, cool. Let me start this bitch up. Bam! There we go. All right, 2 hours to go. What's up, Scofflaw? Scofflaw. That's the way we do it. All right, we are just getting started. So once you get in, just start tapping the screen, do all the things. I'm going to go in and share myself out to myself. Let's see here. Oh, shit. I was on my alt. No wonder I wasn't getting any notifications. What's up, everybody? What's up, Tracy? Shane, what is up? If you send me a message, apparently I was still logged into my alt. Oh, thank you for the taps, Tracy. I see you there. I added this recently. That's pretty neat. Also, if you send a gift, it's supposed to fall into the jar. Like it should show your face too. Pretty cool. What's up, Shane? What's up? Yeah. Anyway, see, somebody sent me a message. I just now got it. It could have been. At least it looks at some. Okay, I don't understand. Anyway, I was on my alt, I guess, since yesterday, and I didn't reach out to anybody. Somebody sent me a message. You're a perfect Yahtzee. This is I don't know who this is. Oh gosh, they've been sending me messages. They sent me since Thursday. They sent me a message on Thursday. Oh, allowing Chip Barnes, a known racist Jay hater, on your panel is gross. Google his tweets. This is Empathy is Tired. I don't know who this is. Empathy is Tired. And then I said, thank you for your message. Good morning, Tracy. What's up? They said, and now you're saying bad shit about Jays. No wonder you love Chip. You're a perfect Yahtzee. You're welcome, Empathy. Do they not understand that shit just doesn't work anymore? All right, now I got to share this out to myself as if like that, bothers me. They have to say something, and that's what they choose to say, and that's fine. That's fine. You got to call a spade sometimes. Israel is not a J, okay? Zionists are not J's. In fact, the majority of Zionists are non-J's, I would imagine. Chip, you'll get one. Yeah, I'm going to send one to Chip just because of Empathy is Tired. Chip's always welcome up here. Fuck that guy. All right, we are live. And there we go. Okay, now I'm going to go grab my alt, bring my alt back up here, and then we can get started. Oh, what does that say? Supreme Court does what? See, now my brain is squirreling off here. Damn it. I swiped away that notification. Something about the Supreme Court, and I missed it. That's okay. We'll get started here soon. Forgive me. Evangelicals. What's up, Syrian? Syrian Lulu. Fred Eric says Zionism is J national consciousness, so you can't deny one without the other. Yes, you can. Zionism is a political ideology in the same vein as white supremacy or Yahtzeism. If you are a Z, you are a Yahtzee. Okay? Same difference to me in terms of the actions, which is kind of sad. Thank you, Ali. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to be labeled that way, stop doing shit like that. It's real simple. It's real simple. Stop believing yourself to be superior to others. Stop believing that one group of people, a religion, is superior to other people. And that shit won't happen. You won't be called these things. You fucking cry about it. You like go around and commit atrocities as a nation, and then you cry about it when people get upset. What is wrong with you guys? What's up, Fred?
Hello. Not much. I hope you had a good weekend. I would say that. So we just go right into it.
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, so Israel itself. There's two things. For what Zionism is, I'd say it's basically just Jewish nationalism, and there's a degree at which I think Zionism is somewhat of a redundant term because Zionism succeeded. the Jewish state was established. And now it's mostly about when people say Zionism, it's usually
Supremacy.
Well,
That's
it's
right.
maintaining Israel as a Jewish state and also supporting Israeli foreign policy objectives. But there are Zionists. Basically every Jew in Israel is essentially a Zionist by nature of them.
But not all.
I mean, I guess there's
not all J's
like,
or Z's.
I didn't say that. I said Jewish Israelis.
Right, but I mean,
by
your comment was basically that the two are one and the same, and that's not true because just because you're J doesn't make you a Z. Just because you're a Z doesn't make you a J.
Nationalism. No, I said Jewish nationalism is Zionism is Jewish nationalism. So you can be Jewish and not be a Jewish nationalist.
I think that's fair, but it has morphed into supremacy. And that's why I put it right there alongside Yazidism. I don't see really the difference.
The existence of Israel itself is the same as Nazism. But Zionism is just the existence of Israel.
Okay, so for whatever reason, the people that exist today that are Zionists have a belief, whether they admit it or not, that those people are better than other people. Don't ask me why, right? This is the general mindset of a Zionist. That is a failed political ideology, one that is harmful to other people.
Maybe it's harmful. I disagree that it's failed since Israel is still there and still Jewish. Zionism could only fail if the goals of Zionism were to collapse. And the goal of Zionism is a Jewish state in the Middle East, specifically where the borders are now.
But it's not. Currently, Israel as a nation wants to grow. Would you say that's accurate?
There are political factions in there that would like to annex the Palestinian territories, but I think there are Zionists who are two-staters, right? There are Zionists, like the assassinated Israeli prime minister, who was at Oslo. Bennett, he was not Bennett, but Bennett is another, let's say, a modern one, who do seem to be perfectly willing to be satisfied with current Israeli borders. But still want Israel to be a Jewish state. Now, I personally am a two-stater. I would like there to be a Jewish state and an Arab state, which in some ways makes me a Zionist because am I an ideological Zionist? Like, I would say I'm basically like accepting that Israel exists and, given the realities of the situation, we acknowledge Jewish national consciousness and, we give the Arabs a state alongside the maintaining the Jewish state. That's what I would say. And I would say that is more or less Zionism. Whether, does the Israeli state, certainly the current government certainly has sympathies towards it.
Rabin, I think is how you pronounce his name. He supported, Palestinian self-determination, right? And they killed him.
Right, he was assassinated.
They killed him. That's right.
Now, are you saying that the majority of Israelis supported his assassination?
The people, listen, I let you speak for like 2 minutes, okay, unimpeded, to say your piece. You're actually helping to prove my point, is that yes, there exist people in Israel, even some in the government, that would rather see Palestine have its own state. But the ones that control everything, the actual supremacists, the ones that are running this ideology, which other people then latch onto, are supremacists who will unalive you if you believe in a two-party, two-state solution. Currently, in existence is a group of people in that government that want not just Palestine. They want the West Bank. They want Lebanon. They want Saudi Arabia. They want parts of Iraq. They want all of this area, this greater Israel project, and all of the land that exists within it, because they believe from a religious standpoint, not from a lineage standpoint or an ethnic standpoint, from a religious standpoint, that God gave it to them 3,000 fucking years ago. This is demented mentality, and they are willing to unalive their own prime ministers who go against what they want. So it's hard for me to believe that anybody that exists currently and has any power in there that is walking and breathing and hasn't been unalived is in favor of what you're just talking about just now.
Do you think Naftali Bennett isn't a two-stater?
I don't know enough about Bennett to be a two-stater.
Okay.
What I know is that
Well,
the
he was the
people
former prime minister.
currently.
He was the former prime minister.
What I know is that
He was the prime minister
currently-
3 years ago.
What I
prime
know
minister 3 years
currently
ago.
is Bennett currently running Israel.
Is he currently running Israel? No.
Okay,
Maybe he will
so
by the
it's
next
irrelevant. I have
not
already
irrelevant,
acknowledged.
actually.
Yes, I've already acknowledged that people in the government. Did you not hear me say that? Some of them are in favor of a two-state solution, but they aren't running shit, are they?
But they are still Zionists, right? Would you agree that Bennett
No.
and that Yitzhak Rabin, you do not think that they are Zionists?
No.
So your definition of Zionism is a bit, let's say,
Accurate
boutique.
to what we see.
No, boutique.
No.
Your
If they
definition of
believe,
Zionism is
do you
very
believe?
specific.
Well, let me ask you this: do you believe that they are God's chosen people?
I mean, the founder of Zionism was an atheist. He didn't believe in God. I'm
I'm
not
asking
really.
what you think. Okay, well, they believe that. Do you think that
Even the atheist ones?
They believe that they are the chosen people. They call themselves that. Do you believe that if somebody thinks themselves
Yeah, all
to be
Jews believe they're the chosen people.
if you
Thank you for
believe,
following.
thank you, Gen X. If you think that somebody is saying that they're the chosen people, is there any way to go get around that? Do you think?
I mean, as for like what
Can
the
you-
Jewish religion,
can you
'cause
work with that person?
Every single Jew on the planet believes he's part of the
Can
chosen
you
people.
work
Every
with
single
that
one.
person? Can you work with
Yeah,
that
probably.
person? You think so? They think that they're the
Yep.
chosen people and that they shall inherit the earth, as it states
work
in
with-
their religious text,
We work with Jews all the time. Yeah.
To their benefit. They won't work with you
Like, do-
if it's not
Like,
benefiting
do you
them.
not, do you not think Jews can?
Will
can,
they do anything that
work
doesn't
in American
benefit them?
society either?
Will they do anything that doesn't benefit them?
Yes, Jewish people in America do
you
things
for
that don't benefit them.
Thank you, McTuba, for the follow. Appreciate that. They won't do anything that won't benefit them. What are you talking about?
You don't.
They can't
You don't
snap
think
their
Jewish people
fingers
do
and
anything
take
that won't
over.
benefit them?
Sorry, this
You don't
this
think Jewish
argument's a
people
little
in America
strange
don't
to
do
me. I
anything that
mean,
won't benefit them?
Here.
people are inherently selfish. I don't understand why Jews are being targeted specifically for that.
Well, let me prove it to you. I'm going to read from their own text. All right, let me read this to you. These people
Supposed
who
liberal,
believe,
by the way. Supposed liberal, by the way.
No. Okay, so
So-called
they
liberal,
call
by the way.
themselves they call themselves the chosen people, and this is what they believe God said about them. Foreigners will rebuild your walls, and their kings will serve you. Though in anger I struck you, in favor I will show you compassion. Your gates will always stand open. They will never be shut day or night, so that people may bring you the wealth of the nations. Their kings led in triumphal procession, for the nation or kingdom that will not serve you will perish. It will be utterly destroyed. So you take somebody who believes themselves to be the chosen person, who reads this every goddamn day of their fucking life. They will spend 18 hours a day doing nothing but studying this fucking book. You
I
think
don't
there's
think Ben-Gurion
anything that
studies
you
that
can
book all
say?
day.
Shh. You think that there's anything that you can say to that person that's going to get them to believe that every other human person on earth is equal to them?
I mean, we have Jewish politicians in America who
That's
aren't.
not what I asked you.
Yeah, I think you can. I think there's a number of religious
Okay.
Jews in America who are perfectly willing
Yes.
to work with non-Jews for mutual benefit.
Right. Okay. Yeah, they think they're the chosen people. They think that God
I mean,
will,
you don't sound
will
like a liberal.
cause
You sound like a sort
all-
of Russian peasant. Some sort of
Russian
backwater
peasant.
medieval.
And here comes the
savage.
attacks.
That's what you sound
And
like.
here comes the attacks. Oh, so you're calling an indigenous man a savage? I just want to point that out.
You sound like a fucking
are you
Russian
a
peasant.
are you a Jewish person?
No.
Are you a religious person?
I believe in supersessionism, I guess. So moderately, I suppose.
Are you an American?
Yes.
Do you get sunburnt when you walk outside for too long without any sunscreen?
No, I'm a Negro.
Are you? Okay, put yourself up on the screen, please.
I mean,
Put
I don't
yourself
know.
up
I don't
on the
believe that
screen.
you don't look very indigenous
bitch.
to me either.
Listen, bitch, put yourself up on that motherfucking screen right now or you're going to get dropped. You just called yourself a black person. I want you to prove it.
All right. Only if you show me your tribal ID card.
I can do that.
All right, pull it up.
You put yourself on there first.
The things I do for you people.
You people. What is that, indigenous people?
No, just you people.
Let me put you up there. So are you 100% black?
No, I'm not 100%, though very few black Americans are.
Actually, you look Sephardic.
I look Sephardic?
Yes.
I look...
You actually
I'm Jewish?
You actually don't look. Yes, you don't look like a black American.
Well, you don't look like an Indian.
I'm not from India. I never said I was from India, sir.
You don't look like a native. You don't look native.
Okay.
There.
Do you want to feel stupid? Okay.
Not really. I just said you don't look native.
So why
definitely
is it
not full-blooded?
So you're not a Christian. You're an American. You're simping for people who believe themselves to be superior.
No, I am a Christian.
I asked you if you were that, and you said no. You're a supersessionism.
No, I said I suppose so. Supersessionism. No. Supersessionism means I don't really believe that the modern Jewish people. Means I don't really believe that modern Jewish people have any particular importance.
So you're full of shit. Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Why? Okay, so why are you up here simping? Because they will never accept you. The way that you look, you will never be accepted by those Europeans.
I don't really care about their acceptance. What I care about is order in the Middle East. And your idea of abolishing Israel.
Okay, so if you want order in the Middle East, Fred, why don't you tell Israel to stop oppressing the Palestinian people? Why don't you tell them to stop unaliving all of those babies?
That's why I'm a two-stater.
Okay, so why are you up here simping for the people that have murdered tens of thousands of children? And I would argue far more than 100,000 adults in Palestine, innocent civilians. Why are you up here upset because you think I'm anti-Semite, I'm sure?
I never said you were an anti-Semite. I think you're retarded.
I said, okay, so you can't use that language on TikTok. I'm going to give you a pass. If you use another one, that's the second.
Come on, nigga, don't be like that.
Okay. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, bitch. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, McMuffin, what's up?
Don't do much. I mean, just 1 minute, please. I'm chewing.
Yeah, and see, I'm a man of my word. I'm taking a picture of my citizenship card right now, and I'll put it up on the screen. I also don't believe that he is black. I believe that he's Middle Eastern of some type. He is. I don't think that he is black. That's why he wouldn't show his face. But
anyways, I just ate a hot dog. Sorry.
Not that you ate a hot dog.
Yeah, lunch.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. That was weird. Either way, right? No, yeah. And it's funny because he wasn't very dark, right? But he claimed himself to be, as he stated, a Negro, and yet calls into question my indigeneity because I didn't look it, and takes issue with that.
Thank you for following.
Thank you for the follow. So, McMuffin, what say you?
I mean, I think Israel is probably the most, if I had to live somewhere in the Middle East, I would choose Israel, high key. Just based off of they're mostly somewhat secular. They're pretty liberal and just progressive overall compared to the Middle East.
You really think that?
Yeah.
So do you think that it's possible that they just latch on to that in order to balance the atrocious acts that they actually engage in?
Honestly, I'd believe that. Yeah, I mean, I think their military actions are a little too much. I know they love using the argument of self-defense, but, because they can't use it every single time. They're doing a little bit too much preemptive self-defense, if that's a word.
Right, like
I
we
do-
just
I do
like
believe-
we
I
just
do believe
launched
right now they're
defensive
attempting-
strikes in Iran. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't even make sense. But sorry, go
Like-
ahead, man.
Don't get me wrong. I think currently Israel is militarist. I mean, they definitely are trying to expand their borders to whatever the 12 tribes, I think, which is like southern Syria, southern Lebanon. I mean, obviously all of Israel, Palestine. And then they would go after Jordan, but Jordan is just too Western, so they won't. But if they had the opportunity to attack Jordan, they would have.
To a check, well, I mean, that doesn't mean that they're not going to, right? Because they're attacking Lebanon right now. They attack everybody.
Jordan would be the closest thing they have to an ally in the region, and I mean they have a modern military. They're pretty well functioning. They're very Western, so they have a lot of ties with Europe and the United States. Nothing really goes on there besides for negotiations. And I would arguably say that Jordan is probably in on whatever Israel is doing, as they don't become a target that way, and they just get Western favor.
And please forgive me, I am actually censoring my card here because it has, personally identifiable information.
Yeah.
Let me bring in. Oh, we had 3 people join up, but I think they were wanting to address the other guy. Now that
Thank
that
you for
person's
following.
gone. All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, to McMuffin, knowing what Israel is doing, why would you choose to live there?
I'm saying that in a hypothetical, like if I had to choose somewhere in the Middle East to live, I would choose Israel. I wouldn't move there willingly right now.
Why would you want to live somewhere that's literally unaliving children every day and takes joy in doing that and raping people? I just can't understand it. Why would you want to live there?
Like if you're looking at the Middle East as a whole, the Gulf states are full of, slave labor. So they're just as guilty as Israel in that regard. There's Yemen.
Have you guys ever heard
constant
what
civil war, famine.
Muslims
Iraq.
do to children?
Yeah, exactly. I was to say that.
Okay, right. Okay.
Eric.
Anyways, we're talking about what Israel is
Eric,
doing and why he would live
or
there.
ominous. Okay, somebody else was talking. That's rude. You just come up and just immediately start yapping. Wait, your turn. Okay. Thank you, Misty. Yeah, go ahead. I think McMuffin, were you talking?
Yeah. I mean,
Go ahead.
Just out of the Middle East as a whole, I would choose Israel. I mean, it's the one I'd be able to survive in the most.
But they also use slave labor.
You really want to go
you're
there?
A funny guy. You're a funny guy. Israel using slave labor. You're pretty funny.
You want to go there though?
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong,
what do you
objectively,
Do you
think
want to
about
know
it?
who has slaves still around the
I'm
world?
not saying those places
and
don't. I'm
real
not
quick,
saying
everybody.
those
Let's count them
places
up.
Real quick,
Let's count.
everybody. To
don't.
Fred.
You've
To
done it
Fred.
before.
To Fred. There you go, buddy. I took a
Back
picture,
at him.
went and censored it. That's my proof. And sadly, the fact that Blood Quantum is even on there is really a gross extension of white supremacy. But,
Awesome.
it is what it is. Anyway, so like I said, I would do it if he did it. He did it, so I did it. All right, go ahead, guys.
Show me yours, I'll show you mine. I'm not saying those other countries don't have slaves. I'm saying Israel also uses slave labor. They have torture camps. They're committing a genocide. It's not a democracy. They treat everybody like crap.
Yeah, are you like super like mad about the Uyghur Muslim camps in China?
The what?
Yeah,
The Uyghur Muslim camps?
Yep, in China, also Myanmar, they're persecuting them in North Korea. So
Yeah, I just want to know if you're like
I don't
evenly
think
mad
any
around the
human being
world.
should be treated like. I don't think any human being should be treated like that. Do
wait,
you?
if that's the case,
I don't either. That's why I want to like get rid of
Why are you
Muslims and
bringing
Islam.
them up when we're talking about Israel?
Okay.
Yeah,
when
no,
you-
but I think our bigger problem is Muslims.
when you
Yeah, they're the big
how
issue.
so?
That's your bigger
How
problem.
so?
That's your bigger
because it's
problem.
actually in their charter to marry 8-year-olds or 11. What is their rule now? I don't know, but it's
What's
in
below
your
what
charter?
we would think is normal. And then also, They love
The
slaves,
Talmud talks
right?
about sleeping with 2-year-olds.
Africa
But
and
again,
Islam
Talmud
are
does
the
not
only
talk
ones that
about
still practice
Islam.
slavery by law.
Islam.
Wait, wait.
How?
Wait, I have a
Wait,
question.
Sharia
real
Why?
quick. Okay, Eric, how old are you?
46, motherfucker.
And you don't know how to pronounce Islam?
So can we have a
Islam.
conversation?
I don't give a fuck, dude. I think they should all be wiped off the fucking
Grow
map.
up. You're
Yo,
so
Okay,
bitch.
well,
stupid.
look,
Yo,
hey, look at that,
bitch.
guys. He was like, I want them to be wiped off the face of the map, and then I wiped his bitch ass right off the face of
Now
this
he's
map.
wiped out.
The
Yes.
fuck
All
out
Alright,
of here,
I have a
bitch.
question. I have a question. Yes, why
What a
are?
bitch.
But that is a good question. Are you morally consistent in places like Rwanda, in Myanmar, in North Korea, in China, or are you only mad because the media is supposed to be mad about Palestine?
I don't care. You know what? You
Everyone-
guys literally have to stop labeling everybody as being brainwashed by media when we have watched them commit a G-side for 3 years.
Wait, Katie,
nearly.
define
And yes,
G-side.
I don't.
Exactly,
And
Han
I
Solo. So,
So
go ahead.
I
That's
care
funny.
about everybody. I think it's terrible everywhere. And you know what? It's sick that we're funding it with our tax dollars.
Wait, Katie,
You're
define
just an
G-side.
ignorant, hateful person. So you take joy in the fact that it's happening and then bring up these other places like you actually care about them, but you don't care about them. You just like
right.
use them to throw them out there.
Wait, I have a question. Can you define G-side? Because you use that as a word to describe what Israel's doing, but when you see it, they're not systematically trying to...
Systematically wiping out people.
Wait, I have a question. How would that be the case when they have Arabs? They let Arabs vote. They have signs of both Arabic and Hebrew. If they're trying to wipe out their culture, they're doing a very bad job at it. Why would you let them
No,
have a
they're
cultural
not.
existence?
They're doing a great job
Let
at
me-
it, and they have different laws.
Let me
for
ask y'all
Arabs in
something.
Israel than Israelis.
Let me play a couple of clips here. I just want to kind of get you guys' thoughts on this. So this is an airstrike that just happened, I think, yesterday in Lebanon, right? You'll see it. And then I'm going to compare it with another video of Israel doing a booming in another country. Just check this out. Watch this. So this was yesterday.
Yes, the people at war
Thank you
are
for
fighting.
following.
Are we surprised?
Thank you for the follow. And you see that just takes out the whole building. You see that? Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy?
Yeah,
Pretty
well, war
wild,
happens.
right?
It happens to war.
But hold on. I got another video. Just give me a second. Just
Yeah, take your
calm down. All right.
Wait, but-
now I want you to compare that
Watch
with
the video.
with this video here when they are targeting HMOS, a financial person, some financial guy, right? Watch what they're able to do here.
Yeah, because he's in a car, not in a
Watch
building.
this. Watch this. Do you see the directed strike? Do you see that? Isn't that crazy? How they can literally unalive and do almost no damage to the surrounding buildings or vehicles.
Yeah.
It's almost
Somebody
like
in
he's
a car.
building.
And yet,
You said he
whenever
was
there's
in-
somebody in a building, they're like, "Well, I know there's 400 other people in that building, but it's got to come down because there's one bad guy."
How can you prove
They
that other
fucking
people in the
have
building? You're saying
pagers,
that as an
dude. They have
assumption.
pagers to blow up. They have
That's
the tech
right.
to do
They don't give a fuck.
concentrated strikes, but they don't give a shit. And you said he's in a building. They're gonna have to leave the building eventually. They can wait a day or like a few
That's
days.
right.
No, wait, hold on. You're
Just
assuming they
take
can
out
get
the whole
supplies.
fucking building. I mean, dude, like
They have the technology to know when someone is
It's
coming
so
and going. They
blatant,
know
bro.
who that person is. They know how many.
What
people
technology
are in there.
exists?
They have the technology to do.
Wait, define
targeted
technology. You're
attacks.
saying that.
The point is they want to starve and kill them, so they do. So
Wait, if that was the case, why would they even consider them as
are
humans?
And-
extremely weak, and there's a bunch of evidence against it. And the Israeli government and the people have already expressed their
Thank you for the
genocidal
likes,
intent.
guys.
So spare us.
Well, I would argue a good portion of Israelis are against the war. It's just that, like, especially the Orthodox community, which is very
not
large.
a very big portion at all.
No, it is a
It's
big
not
portion.
a very big portion at all.
Well, no,
It-
this whole
I
conflict is
saw a
going on
video
because
of-
Benjamin
really is.
Netanyahu is going to be prosecuted once it ends.
Okay, real quick, guys, because I can't at this point hear anybody. I'm trying to follow y'all's stuff, so let me get around the room real quick and give everybody a time so that everybody has a chance to say something. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to start top left with Beastmaster. Please, Beastmaster, go ahead, and I'm going to set your timer here. And welcome in.
Hi. I just want to go ahead. I popped up here because of the flagrant anti-Islamophobia
Thank you for
here.
following.
Like, what
Thanks for the
is
follow.
up with that? So you've been propagandized to hate Islam, which, by the way, like I'm an evangelical Christian. I'm not telling you that Islam is the way, but you've been propagandized to hate Islam while you literally see videos of Israelis attacking Christian statues, attacking Christians, which, by the way, the Palestinian population, 10% Christian. 10% Christian. You're watching Israel take our money, for their health care, for their education, and you're fine with that. But Muslims are the problem. It's Islam that's the problem, right?
Well, I
That
can
doesn't make
clarify.
any sense.
Wait, to clarify, to make that point.
Well, hold on.
yeah,
Hey, whoa. This is her timer.
Oh,
You
sorry,
will have
sorry.
your ability to
I'll
respond.
go ahead. No, go ahead and let him rebut because
Okay.
I don't have.
Go-
It just seems
go ahead
like
then,
that is
Ominous.
such a good hallmark of
I'm sorry.
propaganda.
Yeah, I'll explain that point. So even then, when it comes down to what Israel is doing in the war and why people might be Islamophobic, it's not inherently what's the issue of Palestine itself, but the culture that Islam permits. We can look at surrounding countries like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, and places like Iraq. The age of consent is like 9 in some cases. I think that's absolutely atrocious. No one at that age should ever be thinking about marriage, but in their country they are. We can also look at other places where we see the harm. We can look at places like Russia, Germany, the United Kingdom, France. We can see all the crime and issues that are going on, and they also tend to have the huge
You can
impact.
also look at the history of those
Thank you,
countries
Ren.
and see that they were not radicalized in those ways just 50 years ago. That a
Wait,
lot
so-
of U.S. policy and Israeli policy is part of the radicalization of Islam in the Middle East. So what are you talking about?
Wait, so
All
we
right.
look at countries. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm going to get to Rock next. I'm just trying to get around the room. Then I'm going to open it up again for open discussion after that. So let's get through this. Rock, please go ahead.
Yeah, I would agree with Beastmaster in saying that, you know, we can't determine which cultures are we going to allow and which that we aren't. If we're going to be allies with the Saudis and with the UAE, I get that they're different sects of Islam. You have the Shia and the Sunnis. But the narrative in the United States and in the West in general is to demonize Muslims, to call them and to make them seem like they're less than human, to make them seem like they're animals. So when you see videos of us blowing up apartment buildings and there's little kids with their legs blown off and all that terrible stuff, you don't feel anything for these people because they're less than human according to the propaganda. Yeah, I mean, it's really disgusting because all you have to do is just picture your own children or nieces or nephews or somebody in that scenario, and it's obvious you will feel completely different if it was somebody of your culture or of your ilk. And so I just find that the Israeli position to be disgusting on this.
You got 30 seconds left if you want them. If not, I can get to Aya.
Yeah, I guess I would say that if you flip it to Israelis and if you say and when it's, you know, October 7th or when it's somebody of their culture, they feel completely different. And so, you know, all you have to do is ask somebody to put their own children or their own family in the same scenario as the Palestinians and how would they feel? And the Israelis would say, well, if they were doing that to us, we should nuke them. That's exactly what they would say.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, thank you, Rock. I appreciate that. Well said. Aya, go ahead. Oh,
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Man, I mean, Israel, just look at look at Israel's entire history and look at our America's fucking allyship
Thank
with
you,
them,
Eric.
man. Like, it is a completely one-sided relationship. Like, America they say we get like a foothold in the Middle East for being allies with them. I mean, that's bullshit. We get intel from them. We don't need, we have our own intel. It's like Israel just takes advantage of
Thank you,
this
Chris.
relationship. We're their big brother, so they get to go around and bully and do whatever the fuck they want in the Middle East. And it's just like bullshit. I'm just so happy that there are people like waking up to that and seeing like just how they're just, and they have no remorse for anyone over there. They blindly bomb, boom boom. Sorry, my apologies. Boom boom
Fuck
places
TikTok.
and you know, I know I'm my bad, man.
It's all good.
And just commit atrocities in the name. And I don't know how people just accept it. Like, I don't know how you people just blindly are just like, yeah, that's good. That's fine. It's Israel. Like, it's just bullshit. So fuck that fucking terrible relationship. We should get rid of it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, appreciate it. Well said. Let me get to Ominous. Go ahead, man.
Yes, when we look at Israel as a nation and what they've been doing, again, I wouldn't really say they classify any under
Thank you,
definition
Eric.
of genocide. We can see that how they're trying to go around the war. Again, Arabs have power. They're trying to get them out. They're trying to evacuate them. They're trying to be more persistent in their strikes. They're trying to, again, minimize casualties. They've done a great job at that. The issue is that they're fighting an enemy that doesn't want to fight fair. They're not making themselves known as an army. They hide among civilians. Even then, technically, by the Geneva Convention, they're not even a technical standing army. So the fact that they're just not completely destroying them show that they want to have restraint. They want to properly make sure that they're going after the right people. And they wouldn't want this war to start. Again, they didn't even start the war. But besides that, we can see the continuation of what's going on. So even now, when it comes to people being opposed to Islam, we can see in many countries that have a huge Islamic influence, like Sweden, France, UK, even places in Italy, the crime rate has all steadily been increasing. We can even see then that's in part with bad government overreach and them allowing these people in, but we also can see a huge influx in their grape, CSAM material production, and then containment, along with other issues that keep arising. Like there's those issues with Swedish gangs that are recruiting people who are young, I think, 13 or 14, to do things like unalivement that couldn't be tried under the law. And also, a lot of you have ties to Islam. So again, we can see the problem like there indirect. We didn't see these issues in the 2010s or 2000s before they allowed in mass immigration. So I'm just saying that those patterns exist there too.
Okay. Thank you, Ominous. Let me get down to Michael. Go ahead, Michael.
Yo, what's up, guys? I thought I don't want to say your name wrong. The guy who went before, Ominous. I thought you had a really cool point. Talking about like the initial like alliance between us and Israel when that happened. I think it was Truman who put us in bed with them. I could be wrong, but I think it's very fascinating that what they do is like times 1,000. Like especially in this media digital age where everybody has an iPhone, everybody has an audio visual video device in their pockets. And like to like say the things that they say, like when they were talking about, I think it was Palestinian prisoners in that interview last week, and the one of the officials was talking about putting like metal rods like up their behinds, like in like a nationally televised, meeting. I just think it's absolutely incredible what they've been doing, and I find it like very fascinating. I wonder if like they're doing it because they know we're right next door, or would they be doing this if they didn't have the backing of the United States? That's really it. I think it's crazy what they get away with.
That's a good question. I feel like they would do it, but it wouldn't be so blatant.
Right.
You know what I mean? They would do the
100%.
subterfuge, like, take over the government like they do.
Yeah. It's like you're starting a fight and you know that your 6'5" older brother who's 235 pounds is behind you.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a friend you stop going to the bar with, guys.
100%.
The one that you always get into a fight with every time you go because they're starting shit with somebody else and then being like, oh, he hit me. Oh, yeah, you punched him in the eyeball. What did you expect he was going to do, sucker? All right, let me get. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Itty bitty, go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you for following.
Someone brought up what Israel did to the flotilla. The people on the flotilla, they literally abused, tortured those people just for trying to bring aid to them. And they're not even Palestinians. They also passed a law that they could give the death penalty only to Palestinians. That's not a democracy. They're not they're not equal citizens. I find it atrocious that they're doing this with full view. The whole world is watching, and they do it because they know they can get away with it because people like Ominous peddle their garbage for them. And like Netanyahu said, social media is a tool that they're going to use, and they are brainwashing people from birth in the country and by social media. So, I mean, people that defend it, they have no soul. They're not intelligent to me. Anybody who has an ounce of wisdom and heart isn't going to support or defend anything like that. They have definitely desensitized us to it. I mean, look at it. These people say they probably care about embryos and protecting life, yet they're defending what we watch every day. So it's just insane. I don't know how anybody can seriously get up here and defend it. It's gross. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely, itty bitty. All right. Well, let's pass the torch to Occupation. Occupation, welcome back. It's good to see you. Go ahead.
Hello, how are you, everyone?
Doing fine, doing fine.
I try and use and gather one term that somebody said, and I will talk on that. Desensitizing. It is very, very prevalent, and I'd say it started in the early 2000s with the advent of gaming, first-person narrative, stuff like that. But why would I say desensitizing? I'm dealing with, I have an 86-year-old dad that is being currently comes home at night and attacked by, hey, how are you? By his neighbor. That's, that really doesn't understand that, and his neighbor served, but his neighbor doesn't understand that he built tank engines, this Palestinian, for 20 years. And the neighbor said some really derogatory things yesterday that it's really getting to a desensitizing state where the guy wasn't even born when my father got in this country and survived the 1948 march. That's
Crazy.
how desensitized these people are. Seriously, because he called me these people. Okay, that's what he said. You
Thank you,
people.
Beast.
That's what he said.
Right. You're talking about that guy from earlier, right?
The guy that
Fred.
attacked an elderly 86-year-old American yesterday.
Right. That's that. Wow. What a bunch of
man.
It really is.
Yeah, and I'm yet to expose it now because I got it on video. I'm yet to expose him. I'm not that type of guy to do it, but if I get more of these Palestine, you people kind of thing out of his mouth, I'm gonna have to do it.
Yeah, fuck that
we already
shit, man.
called the police. We do the proper channels. You know what I mean? We do the right thing.
And like they'll find a way to be like, that's not a big deal. But if you say anything about a Zionist, they're like, why do you hate Jewish people?
There we go.
Why do you hate Jewish people?
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell them my
crazy.
family members were unalived in 2022 either. And that's can't tell them anything about that over there in the West Bank. Nah,
right.
I wouldn't be able to say that to the cops. They wouldn't have liked that.
Anyway, thank you, Occupation, for sharing that. I'm sorry that happened, but let me get to Shane
Trials
and then
tribulations of a caregiver of a Palestinian nutbus survivor.
Yeah, I hope he's still enjoying that tree. But let me get to Shane.
sir.
After that, we're going to do a PSA, and then we'll open it up for discussion, open discussion. Go ahead, Shane.
First of all, I would like to say, since some people have showed up and don't understand why we're having this conversation, we are absolutely having this conversation because we continue to sign off on everything Israel does, which we have now funded graping the flotilla.
Right.
So the whataboutisms ain't going nowhere with people that actually care. And let's all be honest with ourselves. The propaganda of dehumanizing Islam and every country outside our border started inside our borders with white supremacy and slavery. Once we were able to dehumanize the black community, it wasn't shit to dehumanize someone from another damn country. And as far as the calling out what they do with young girls in Islam is laughable when our states are literally lowering ages to marry children.
Hello. Thank you, Rigo. Yeah.
And
great points, Shane.
Done there.
Great points, Shane. I appreciate it. Yeah, and with that, I assume you don't need the rest of your time, so let's do a PSA, and then I'm going to open it for open discussion. Guys, let's tap that screen. Let's get to 50K as quickly as we can. Let's get these hearts that you're seeing. Let's get that shit going wild. You can get both fingers going. Do your 100 likes. Whenever you feel that bar up at the top, that's like 100 likes. If you just do that, everybody does that. We should get to and see. There we go. And it puts your little your profile icon on there too. It's pretty neat. Now, this timer that you see below me is the live timer. As you gift, the live will extend. If we don't get it extended, then we'll end the live today and we'll come back and do it tomorrow. This bar here above the timer is today's live goal. So if you want to help me meet the goal, you can send gifts or whatever. But everything that you do, and also for the record, follows, shares, and comments also extend the time for the show. So if you want to also help out and do that, you can make sure you comment, follow, share it out to your people. That'll help extend that timer as well. So let's open it up for everybody. Say what you want. Maybe it's chaotic, but after 15 minutes, we will. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, Josh is my name. So I mean, as I'm from New York City. You know, as a Jew-ish person, not religious Jew, New
Thank you,
York
Eddie.
Jew, more of a cultural type of thing. But you know, Israel's always been sort of a very it's been difficult because it's sort of been the way it's portrayed in the media, you know, all these years. I think to the average, you know, person who's not like looking deep in, you know, behind the curtain. And I'm not talking about the last couple of years. I'm talking about like in the 90s, and you know, it's like this place where people who were victimized.
Thank you, TB.
During Germany and World War II, right? And that's why we have asylum laws in this country, because, you know, when boatloads of Jewish people were coming from Germany to escape and we turned them away, you know, that's how asylum laws, you know, came on the book. So I have some friends that are very pro-Israel, and I have a problem with it because you know, I know there's propaganda on both sides, but you know, we know we saw what you can't propagandize
what you're seeing, right, with your eyes, like
carpet bombing is not, you know, and $38 billion deals with Jared Kushner to build, I mean, you know, and the drone companies are owned by, you know, and heavily invested by the Trump and his sons with the no big contract. So it's like this like circle of grift and theft, and it's just like being in an abusive relationship. Now, I was always for a two-state solution up until, you know, I was. Now I don't think that there's no option for that. But what I have noticed, and I'll land here, is that the anti-Semitism has gone way up.
It's true.
Well, we have a white Christian nationalist agenda in this administration. You know, with Project 2025, and people think Zionists are Jews, and that's not true. Zionists, there are Jewish Zionists, but I would say in Israel, a majority of the Zionists are not Jewish. Or you know,
that's right.
So
even across the world, the majority of Zionists are not Jewish.
Right. Yeah. And if you're not, and we at most of MAGA, and if anyone here is MAGA, you know, sorry, not sorry, but it's low information, unfortunately, low IQ a lot of times, or you know, just, and they took Joseph Goebbels' playbook. Like, I mean, if you look at the way they brainwashed and manipulated.
Hey, that's Stephen Miller's cousin.
Yeah, right.
The guys they look just alike too. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, Vanity Fair. Yeah, I have that as my screen. My screenshot.
Crazy.
It's a crazy. Yeah, that
bald fuck.
Yeah, from Vanity Fair, he did that, and he's a Jew, and he's Jewish. You know, so like people think, you know, back in the day,
Miller Jewish?
Yes, he is. And
surprise.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have a lot of Latin people that are pro-Trump and pro-ICE. It's, you know, there's a lot of self-loathing going on in this world, in this country.
It's crazy.
And I'll say this, that, you know, being back in the day, there were Jews that helped the Nazis. They just like there were blacks, you know, that you know, were out in the fields cracking the whip. You know, it's money and power is a very.
All right, go ahead and land your plane. I think everybody's waiting for you to finish.
That's it.
Okay.
Money and power. That's what it's all about.
And I appreciate everything you said, honestly. I mean, I don't disagree, but you know, it's you've taken quite a bit of that. Guys, please jump in there. You guys can jump in there. Matter of fact, I missed my open discussion. The rules change. I strike out the do not interrupt. You guys are welcome to jump in there. So, you know, say whatever. Anybody want to add or take away from what was just said? I mean,
I guess the last thing I really want to say, and I'm gonna drop down. I got to get back to work.
Sure.
Is that there's a lot of misinformation that's spread because the American public, we have a very short memory. I mean, our political memory is only 4 years at a time, and then like our cultural memory is only at when the last Drake album or Kendrick album dropped. And so we don't think about what happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and we forget that the rest of the world has a history outside of what we think of as history. And so a lot of times they'll try to go back to just October 7th, or they'll try to go back to 9/11. But we really have to look at the entire history of the Middle East, the U.S. interventions. We've basically been playing ring around the regime in the Middle East for 80 years, just to seeing which ones will drop. And then the last thing I want to say before as I land my plane is that the one thing that you're hearing a lot now, trying to justify like the boom booms and all the civilian unaliving, is that they always talk about the atrocities of World War II. They'll talk about the HCOS and like how we shouldn't forget, and they try to justify what they're doing because of that. But then they'll say, if you think this is bad, think about Dresden, think about Berlin, think about Stalingrad. Like we did all these terrible things back in World War II, but they're just World War II gooners. Essentially, all these people, they have this fantasy of living like their forefathers that fought in the Great War. They want to justify all the evil things that happened back then, and so they do it again in today's time. It's a new century. We are a new people. We can have a new global order, a new global peace. We just have to start talking about our history and stop bringing things back to the most recent event. We have to talk about things honestly, and that's just what I want people to do moving forward. That's my piece.
Great point, Rock. I appreciate that. Hopefully we can get there at some point. Because, wouldn't it be nice if you could just, like, travel anywhere without worry? Wouldn't that be great? If we could all just, look at each other like human beings that we are.
Yeah.
Like,
that would be fine.
Go and appreciate somebody else's culture, their food, without work. You know what I mean? Without all this bullshit. I don't know. I don't really know how to get there because, humans are tribal and stupid.
Well, BB's taking away whatever that was done during the HCOS. He's basically, doing it now himself.
Yeah, Chris in the comments saying, LMAO, this guy just said October 7th and 9/11 doesn't matter. That is literally not what the guy said, bro. Like, how, nearly 100 people can watch something and listen to something and take it one way, and then somebody's, rose-colored glasses send them down enough.
Like everybody likes to start there, but really there's so much more history than, and he's talking about how short-sighted Americans can be when remembering history. He never said that didn't matter. So you're either a bot or you're just trolling.
If anything, my two relatives that were unalived in 2022 in the West Bank, those didn't matter to them. Because over 300 were unalived when Blinken unleashed the Kahani Cha, and they installed them at Kahanis in their government that same year. I had to research about it, who was doing all them unalivings before October 7th. So if anybody's talking about people that they don't care about them, they didn't care about American family members that were being unalived, including an American journalist named Shireen Abu Akleh in 2022. So if he wants to talk about caring, oh boy.
And Rachel Corrie.
And Rachel Corrie, yes ma'am.
A senior was.
Well, can I introduce myself?
Well, sure. Somebody was talking. Give me just a second. Once they're finished, you're welcome to jump in there.
Okay, I'll wait.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the occupation. There was just a few more recently Americans that were unalived in the West Bank, and our government didn't care.
Yeah, Stallion, what's up?
Well, I wanted to introduce myself.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm 25. I'm from Malibu, California, and I voted Trump.
Okay.
I was listening to a couple of things you people were up here saying, and I don't appreciate it, really.
You people.
Okay, you don't appreciate it. That's fine.
You people. Oh,
this man has a lot on his plate right now, and for you people to sit up here and, just, say disgusting things about him, I don't appreciate it.
He's got Big Macs.
About who? Are you talking about Trump?
Trump.
Yes.
We were really talking about geopolitics.
Doesn't matter.
No, no,
Did somebody even
please,
bring
can
up
we talk
Trump?
about
I
this for a
don't.
moment?
He is riding that meat hard. Like, get him,
Well, it's a
cowboy. Oh
simple
my
fact
God.
that what you're talking about leads all the way back to him, and I don't appreciate it.
Hey, Stallion, do you have a job?
Yes, I have a job. Do you?
Wow.
Okay, do you get a paycheck?
Do you have a job?
Do you get a paycheck?
Do
This
you have a
is
job too?
Yes, I
Just
do. Yes, I do. I own a
okay.
business.
okay.
Do you get a paycheck?
You can.
Yeah,
You know what?
Okay, the taxes.
I need a
Taxes.
I need a
Go ahead.
bridge image that I can put up whenever trolls come into the room,
Yeah,
so that they
the
can get under the
taxes that are
bridge.
taken out. Sorry, the
A moat.
taxes that are
Get
taken
a
out of your
moat. Get a
check.
moat. It's better. Get a moat.
Your
Thank you for following.
your orange diaper wearing
Thanks,
turd
Fat
god
Chris.
is stealing your money. You're cool with that?
and you see that type of word that you just put out there. Come on.
What diaper
Well, why
wearing
is
turd?
why be
Thank
disrespectful?
you, baby.
Why be
Just
disrespectful? Because he's the most
He
disrespectful
rapes
person.
kids.
When he talks about unaliving whole civilizations, he
You're
calls half
taking
the
it out of
country.
context.
how?
What? This
You know,
is
you
a
can't
troll.
take that
Wait,
out
wait,
of
wait.
context.
Saying that
That's
wipe
idiot.
them off the face of the earth, or wipe their entire civilization. How's that taken out of context? Tell us what we should have heard.
Yeah, please.
Tell us like the
What-
MAGA ear version of that. Go ahead.
Well,
I'm a
what he
Trump
really was,
translator for
what he
us.
really was trying to say was, if they, don't do what they're told, there will be consequences. That's what he was saying. You're twisting
Okay,
his
so
It's the
words.
same thing as
That's not what
basically
he
if
said.
you do what I want, I'm gonna wipe you off the map. That's the
you
same
realize
thing,
he
dude.
said that because the strait was closed after it was already open before he started attacking Iran. So he's the one that closed the strait because of his actions in Israel, and he threatened an entire civilization to wipe them out because he closed the strait.
And
Well,
now
So
he's
how are you
begging, and now
justifying
he's
that?
begging to give them what Obama, more than what Obama gave, without having to have one single person get unalive.
I'm just wondering, like, who do you think we are to have the right to do that to those people in that country when they didn't do anything to us?
Oh,
He said he destroyed
wait a
the
minute, hold on. You
capabilities
don't
of the
remember
new.
when they held
So,
hostages under Jimmy Carter? You don't
sure,
Yeah.
I
remember
Do
he got
you
the
know
entire
why?
population.
Do you
Yes,
know?
they did something.
Wait. Okay. So you want us to understand context, right? So don't you think it's important to understand the context of those hostages? Would you would you
sure.
agree? Okay. So do
Yes,
you want to
Jimmy
know
Carter was
why
weak.
do you want to know why they took hostages?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell you because you wanted to contextualize when Donald Trump said, and I'm quoting, "A whole civilization will die tonight." That's the exact quote. You wanted to add context to that. So I think it's important if you're going to bring up hostages that we add context to that. Now, see, back in the 1950s, the United States created a coup in Iran. We did that along with Great Britain. We installed a guy, right? We installed Pahlavi into their, to a degree, we installed him. He was our puppet, right? And when they overthrew their country, we had, the ambassadorship there, we had our embassy there, and those people stayed. Well, when Pahlavi took off and he left because the people overthrew their government, he left, and guess where he went? He went to the United States for cancer treatment. And so when he got to the United States, the people in Iran thought that the United States was going to do it again and install the guy that had been unaliving them for years. He used to do torture campaigns. He would go and get you in the middle of the night. Matter of fact, the United States helped Iran create, or the Pahlavi create, secret police, kind of like our CIA, to go in and do these terror campaigns in the middle of the night. So Iranians thought that we were going to install him again, so they took over our embassy. And they happened to take hostages. That's the context in which, and what they said was, if you send Pahlavi to us to go to court, because they were going to take him to court for crimes against humanity, if you do that, we'll give you the hostages. And we wouldn't do that. So they kept the hostages. And then Reagan worked out a deal with them to hold the hostages over until he could go in there and take credit, which is similar to what Donald Trump recently did with the immigration bill, where he wanted them to kill it because it was going to hurt his campaign. So there's your context.
My
You're
first
welcome.
girlfriend's dad is Barry Rosen. He was the last hostage released.
So
do you understand that, Stallion? Like,
with the
you understand what he just-
context I just gave you, does that make sense to you? Why they would take the hostages?
Here and there.
So, okay.
Here and there.
One thing I just want to add one thing that the person when the United States and the United Kingdom got rid of the leader that was in there, that was a democratically elected leader. So that means that Iran in 1953, they elected somebody democratically. That guy was saying, I don't want the oil profits to continue flowing to the United Kingdom and to America. The profits that are being pumped from my nation's ground, they should go to my people. So I just want the oil profits to go to the Iranian people because they're the ones doing the work. And we didn't like that. That's right. Interfered with the petrodollar. So we did a thing called Project Ajax, and we removed the democratic. It was a coup. We removed this guy and replaced him with somebody that was basically malleable, was easily manipulated to
There
Western
you go. I was
policies.
gonna say you're talking to a wall at this point. I think you must have sounded like Charlie Brown's teacher to her.
Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Facts, 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 fact, fact, fact. In one ear and out the other.
Yeah, but
No, I think so.
my ex-girlfriend's dad is Barry Rosen. If you Google him, he was the last hostage released.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and it's so cool. He got, so like for being a hostage, he can go to any sports game, like Game 7 of a World Series in any state, like anytime.
What? For real?
That's cool.
Yeah, he's got a whole bunch of, and there's a whole bunch of cool perks that he has. From yeah. He's on the cover of Life magazine with Reagan. Yeah, he was president of Brooklyn College. I mean, she was my girlfriend when I was 16. I'm 49, so
that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's wild because, people bring up, they got hostages. It's like, okay, Israel unalived our soldiers for like a while.
The USS
Where's
Liberty.
the outrage there, buddy? They tried to get us involved in Egypt. They went and planted explosives around Egypt and was going to blame it on somebody else to pull us into another conflict. And got
that
busted.
still doesn't justify him saying he'll wipe out an entire civilization. She brought that up as if something that happened back in the fucking 80s is relevant to wiping out the most ancient civilization, right? Persians or what I've looked up. That's crazy.
Usually
that
they
doesn't
say.
justify it.
Usually they say, don't you? Haven't you heard them saying "unalive to America"? They say it all the time, and it's like what? Like it blows my. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's you can't even take these people seriously. They're in a cult.
I know.
And
what they sometimes do is do the timeline shell game, and they manipulate people's intellect by when people don't know about those 80s. And I mean, prior to 1982, there was no H groups. Ariel Sharon, of course, surrounded a refugee camp there and allowed for the Maronites to take out 3,500 Palestinians. And I believe that could have been something that people should remember, and why that they formed a resistance group in order for that to not take place again.
Who'd have thunk it?
Who
A resistance group?
Who would have thunk?
Wait, don't you mean
3,500
terrorist
people,
group?
3,500 people. Who would have thunk if that doesn't spur someone to form a resistance group so it doesn't happen again?
Right.
I.e. Hezbollah.
Well, these are the people who say they would, if the government were to be tyrannical, they would fight back with their weapons. And then when stuff like this happens, they condemn these people. It's like, you literally said this is what you would do if it happened to you.
Zero empathy.
And they have their own resistance groups. Like
Well, they
Timothy
will manipulate.
McVeigh.
They will manipulate as well, and they will make sure that they'll try and figure out if you know that when the H group Palestine was
Rando.
formed in 5 years later.
Ooh, Rando is here.
Hey.
Rando has a wealth of knowledge. Please, Rando, tell us what's up. You have something?
I am actually putting together a comprehensive
Thank you, Marwan.
something, I don't know, about Palestinian resistance. So if you look at like the earliest forms of Palestinian resistance, it was the fellahin, the peasant farmers in the late 1800s, who had them all, like all the Jewish properties started getting bought up, like even as early as like 1880, there was Rothschild was buying land. But when you look at specifically like armed resistance, even in the early British Mandate, you had groups like the Green Hand and the Black Hand. The Black Hand is actually who the Al Qassam Izzadin Brigade is named after, is the guy who started one of the, like, what's considered the first armed Palestinian resistance group. But then you have, during the Great Arab Revolt, you have like Army of the Holy War, Rebel Youth, Organization for the Holy Struggle. Through the Nakba, you had Arab Salvation Army, and then you had the Fayadeen right after the Nakba, which eventually they got absorbed and became the PLO. Then during the first Intifada, there was a UNLU, which consisted of like the PLO and a couple of other big groups. That's also when like Hamas got its start, the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, the PIJ. You had Fatah groups forming then, which were like
Ask a quick
West Bank
question
resistance.
whenever you're done.
Yeah, and then like through that second Intifada, you even had groups like the Popular Resistance Committee forming. So they have a long history of armed resistance, but even going back to like written resistance, the first formal opposition was like the day after, I believe, the anniversary that the Balfour Declaration was released. The Muslim Christian Association formed, which was like 262 local leaders, and they put in a petition that said like, we saw a group of Jews like stomping through City Square saying that they were going to take our land, and like we oppose this and we want to put it on the record. They filed it with the mayor of Jerusalem at the time.
Now, I have to mention that if you research the Kahanism ideology, that stems back all the way to the 70s, prior to both of those groups. And that's why it's so relevant, because Blinken unleashed it in 2022. I sound like a broken record, but if you research, they have been idling and running alongside all those decades. They just changed their names a few times. Koch Party, Kahani-Cha, JDL, but they were all deemed a T group and banned. And up until the 2022, the U.S. had them on a list, a foreign T organization list. But it started, that ideology was Mir Kahana back in the 70s, and it really hasn't, I know that ideology hasn't died. Itmar Ben-Gvir is definitely a Kahanist.
You had like Lehi, Haganah. The original T groups, the first denoted T groups in the land were like what eventually became the IDF.
Yes.
No.
You're following the same playbook. You're so smart. You're following the exact same playbook with T groups. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, real quick. Hobie's forehead. You brought up go to CNN and look for Israel. What am I looking for?
Yeah, it's that breaking news that you just had. So yeah, that one.
This one here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw the video of this morning. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
I didn't play it. No, I didn't play it, but I saw it on Twitter. And I may still have it up. So let me see if I can't pull that back up, because I just didn't play it. But yeah, and the people in the crowd were chanting 100%. They wanted to take over 100% of Gaza. CNN is bogging my shit down, so let me get rid of it.
While you're bringing that up, is it okay if I ask Rando a quick question?
Yeah, sure. By all means.
Yeah, because you seem like a good expert on the subject. I've heard this from multiple things, and I've tried to do some of my research on it. So I was just wondering what your opinion on this is. But I've heard from multiple sources that basically Bibi essentially funded the H group back like a while ago, and was like essentially kind of like helped prop them up as like a counter movement almost. Is there any credence to that, or am I just
There
misinformation?
absolutely is credence to that. Well, he didn't create them. They initially started as like a nonprofit, actually. He did assist them because he didn't want the PLO. So like they propped them up. He's on record saying H group is like a flame and we can control the height of the flame.
And the PLO, that's the Palestinian Liberation Organization, right?
Yeah, they formed in 1964. and they
And
were
why
made
do
up of
we?
like a lot of the different Fayadine or resistance groups. So Palestinian resistance started more localized and grassroots. Like if you watch like 1936, it's actually a great movie. They didn't get everything, but that's how it started, is like local villages coming together and forming their own militias to protect that swath of land. And then those were the Fayadine.
I may have to